Fripp ended up making both Mel Collins and Gordon Haskell regular members. Of course, Mel Collins continued to play sax and flute. Gordon Haskell took over the vocals, and Andy McCulloch also came in and became a regular member of the band playing drums. This lineup carried over to the next album, which would be called Blizzard, King Crimson's third album. Released on December 10th of 1970. Again, all the tracks are written by Robert Fripp and Peter Sinfield. I love this cover. I'm going to take the plastic off here. This album is not in the best of shape, especially the cover, and I love this cover. On the back you have, it's spelled out the word King, and you got all these little pictures in all the letters. The front of it is crimson. And then when you open up the gatefold, you just get lyrics. Again, I love this cover. You can look at it for hours and just find different things. Most of the stuff in here, the illustrations and everything, have to do with the different tracks on the album. Again, I said the lineup is Robert Fripp playing guitar, mellotron, synthesizer, and organ. Peter Sinfield again doing lyrics and synthesizer. Mel Collins on sax and flute, Gordon Haskell on bass and vocals, and Andy McCulloch on drums. Now, Andy McCulloch comes from the bands Green Slade and Manfred Mann, so that's where his background comes from. The session musicians, you got Keith Tippett returning again for doing acoustic and electric pianos, Robin Miller on oboe and English horn, Mick Cherrig on cornet, Nick Evans on trombone, and John Anderson also does vocals on one of the sections of the track, Circus. All the songs, again, were written by Fripp and Sinfield. They wanted no input from any of the other members. Now, the problem I have with this album is mostly has to do with the lead singer they had, Gordon Haskell. His style of singing is more R&B and soul style, and he proved that doing solo albums after he did this album. He had a hard time connecting to the material that Robert Fripp and Peter Sinfield were giving him. He had a very limited range, made it difficult for him to reach a lot of the notes that were part of the music. Andy McCulloch also had a hard time with it. It wasn't his style of playing either, but they did what they could. You kind of feel sorry for Gordon Haskell, and sorry to say that it pretty much ruins the first side of the album, trying to listen to him sing this material. The album, however, is a lot more jazz-oriented. The instrumentation is amazing. That's what makes this album so great. And it's more jazz-oriented than the previous two albums, so it does have quite a bit of a different sound to it. Robert Fripp originally called the album unlistenable, and he didn't like the album until he heard Steven Wilson's surround sound mix. When he heard that, he said that's the first time he actually heard the music inside the music. So, this particular album is made up of 5 tracks overall. 4 tracks on the first side, side 1. And this to me is the side that I have the hardest time with. Probably have one of the hardest times with that more than anything else on any of the other King Crimson albums. The first track is called Circus, and it includes a section called Entry of the Chameleons, and it's 6 minutes and 27 seconds. It starts out quietly with sparkling keys and Haskell singing. which sounds okay at first, but as things become harsher, when the brass starts to enter and all these other instruments start to enter, um, you can tell immediately that Haskell sounds completely uncomfortable with the range and everything, and he's entirely out of his element with this jazzy symphonic sound. There are nice guitar runs and mellotron passages throughout this, and fortunately there's quite a bit of instrumentation through it that helps take your mind off of the vocals, and it becomes more frantic and chaotic as it continues. But the use of all these different brass type instruments and everything help to make it sound more like a free jazz style.
Man acrobatically juggling bits his tamers go quiet, the tumblers lest the mirror stop turning.
The second track is called Indoor Games at 5 minutes and 37 seconds. The brass is more playful sounding on this one. Gordon Haskell's vocals become almost unlistenable, like Robert Fripp would say, and basically destroy the playfulness of the entire piece. But there's still a lot of fun instrumental interplay throughout it. Kind of a free jazz fusion sounding piece. Gordon Haskell completely destroys it at the end when he tries to hit a high note, can't hit it, and then he just breaks out laughing. You hear that all at the end of the song.
Whilst you sunk in your soul, and 'cause you lost your peace, talk on, playing indoor games, indoor games. Each afternoon you train the birds to sing, or swim in purple perspex water. Come Saturday, jump a Chelsea brigade. Hot bender, trender, it's all indoor games.
Happy Family is the third track at 4 minutes and 22 seconds. This particular track is about the breakup of the Beatles. This is just a complete chaotic mess, this track, in my opinion. Haskell just can't even cut it on this one. And the lyrics are a little weird if you don't know what they're talking about.
Rufus threw his nose away his circus clothes. Cousin Silas under the force cleared. Nasty Joker grew a wife. Judas threw his brooding knife. Happy family forward.
Track 4 is Lady of the Dancing Water, and it's 2 minutes and 47 seconds. This one is more of a mellow, laid-back track led by the flute. The quieter feel of this seems more suited to Haskell's voice. And there's a lot of flute, brass, and guitar interplay throughout it. Very nice classical style. So he almost actually pulls it off on this one. But unfortunately it's kind of a short track.
Blown autumn leaves shed to the slow to hush, just as my days now seem to be. I feel you still, always your eyes glowing. Remembered hours, salt earth and
Side 2 is one track, and that is Lizard. This track lasts 23 minutes and 13 seconds. This is the track that you would buy the album for. Just an amazing progressive masterpiece. It's jazz, symphonic rock, jazz fusion, very, like I said, a progressive masterpiece. It's about a medieval battle and the outcome of that battle. Now, it's broken up into 4 sections actually. The third section is broken up into 3 sections itself. It's a little confusing there, but it all really fits together quite well. Section A is Prince Rupert Awakes, and it's 4 minutes and 32 seconds. Robert Fripp considered this song to be way out of Gordon Haskell's range, thank goodness. And so they recruited John Anderson from Yes to come in and sing this. And it's just beautiful. I mean, this is right in John Anderson's element. He sounds comfortable here. It's a beautiful melody, and it's perfectly suited to his style. I feel that this track, just that one section, could have been a single and done quite well.
Wake your reasons hollow boat, where your blizzard season cold. Burn a bridge and burn a boat, stake a lizard by the throat. Polonius or near, the reapers name their harvest done. Oh, your tarnished devil.
The B section of this is called Bolero, or The Peacock's Tale, and it's 6 minutes and 32 seconds. This one is all instrumental. It's an excellent weaving of jazz, classical, and rock elements. It's basically inspired by Ravel's Bolero, with inspiration from Miles Davis, and it has the Miles Davis sensibilities to it. You can hear what I am talking about when you listen to it. There's a mix of structured composition and improvisation, great mix of beauty and dissonance throughout this part of the track. So, very nice. Section C is called The Battle of Glass Tears and is the main section of the entire track. It's at 11 minutes and 5 seconds, and like I said previously, it is also split up into 3 sections. The first one called Dawn Song, the second one is Last Skirmish, and the third section is Prince Rupert's Lament. Now Haskell's vocals return for this, but they're much better suited because it's the material's a bit softer here. He's not trying to fly out and sing notes that are not in his range. Just seems to be much better. Certain themes return. It has a very nice symphonic feel as the instruments cut in. Things start to build. There's a very good use of dynamics through this. A lot of rock and jazz dissonance that's weaved throughout it all. But again, just like most of the tracks on this, it becomes more chaotic and uneasy throughout this track, with dynamics cutting in, softening, going loud. Just makes it all quite wonderful. The last section is called Big Top, and it's only 1 minute and 18 seconds. And it's made up of some kind of unsettling circus music mixed in with a bit of mellotron, and a couple of instruments come in and try to even break up the sensibility of the circus music. So very nice track. Makes the whole album worth it just to have the second side. Before they could even go out and tour for this record, Gordon Haskell and Andy McCulloch, both left the band, and because they didn't feel connected to Sinfield's lyrics and Fripp's instrumentation, and it's probably a good thing. So here they go. Fripp starting to lose interest in the band, and the only person left to try to pull things together was Mel Collins, and that's where we are going to start out with part 3 of this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you hung in there, and we will see you the next time.